A dispute over access to a laptop has sparked a legal battle in Sean Combs' criminal case. Combs, awaiting trial at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, argues that he needs a laptop to review evidence effectively due to the massive amount of material in his case. He faces serious charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering, spanning 2008 to 2024, with evidence collected from over 50 witnesses, 90 electronic devices, and 300 subpoenas. Previously, Combs' request for bail was denied, with the judge stating his access to counsel and evidence at MDC was sufficient. Prosecutors assured the court that he would be provided a laptop preloaded with permissible materials. Recently, Combs' legal team filed a letter requesting immediate access to the laptop, noting it has been over a month since the government delivered it to MDC. They criticized the proposed conditions, which limit laptop use to specific locations and times, arguing these restrictions are unfair and hinder his ability to prepare for trial. The defense contends these limits are unreasonable, not applied to other inmates, and unjustified by security concerns since the materials do not pose privacy risks to victims or witnesses. They assert Combs' constitutional right to prepare for his defense is being compromised. The battle over Sean Combs' access to a laptop has escalated, with his defense team raising concerns about government surveillance and restrictions at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC. They argue Combs needs the laptop to prepare for trial and take private legal notes, particularly after allegations surfaced that the government may have photographed privileged materials from his jail cell. They also claim the MDC is sharing attorney visitation forms with prosecutors, potentially violating Combs' rights and due process. The defense has requested the court to order the MDC to provide Combs with the laptop immediately and allow him to use it in his jail unit without restrictive conditions. They emphasize that other inmates do not face similar limitations and that this hinders Combs' ability to prepare his defense. Prosecutors, however, responded that the defense's requests are premature and moot. They pointed out that only a few inmates in Combs' unit are allowed laptops, and his access is already an exception to typical rules. They argue that limitations on usage, such as hours and locations, are standard for security reasons. They also highlighted that most documents on the laptop are sealed, meaning Combs can only review them under supervision to protect sensitive materials. The prosecution further cited examples of other cases where similar restrictions were imposed, maintaining that Combs' situation is not unique. They deferred to the MDC's discretion regarding housing and security concerns, noting that Combs could use the laptop in designated areas like the visiting room or video conference room, albeit with time restrictions. The ongoing dispute over Sean Combs' access to a laptop at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, continues, with both sides presenting their arguments. Prosecutors emphasize that sensitive materials on the laptop, including information about alleged victims and witnesses, require strict oversight to avoid violating a protective order. They argue Combs can use the laptop in supervised settings, like the visiting or video conference rooms, but not in his unit, as it poses security risks. They also assert the defense's request for unrestricted access is premature and can be revisited later if issues arise. Additionally, the government defends its receipt of attorney visitation logs, stating they are not privileged and were initially made relevant by Combs' legal team when they raised concerns about limited access to their client following a contraband sweep. Prosecutors also oppose Combs using the laptop to take case notes, claiming this would create unfair advantages over other defendants. In response, Combs' defense team argues he is being treated unfairly compared to other inmates in his unit, who reportedly use laptops in their cells even with sealed materials. They cite examples, including the case of Sam Bankman-Fried, where defendants were allowed laptops to collaborate with their legal teams. The defense insists Combs should be permitted to take notes on the laptop, especially since his handwritten notes may be vulnerable to government surveillance, as evidenced by prior allegations of improper handling of his legal materials. Ultimately, the defense contends that the current restrictions infringe on Combs' constitutional rights, including due process and the right to counsel. They maintain that his laptop use aligns with practices for other inmates and is crucial for preparing his defense. This legal wrangling over a seemingly minor issue highlights the larger stakes and tensions in the case as it progresses.